Introducing the Liberty Laptop, your gateway to online anonymity. Engineered with your privacy in mind, the Liberty Laptop comes equipped with cutting-edge security features, ensuring that your data remains yours and yours alone. No more worries about your personal information being shared without consent. Say goodbye to prying eyes and third-party snoops. Enjoy your online freedom with advanced privacy settings, protecting your every digital move, all at your fingertips. With the Liberty Laptop, you control what others see and don't see. We customize your privacy settings and let only what matters most to you be shared. No more concerns about unwarranted surveillance. We put the power back in your hands. No unwanted access through the laptop's camera and microphone. Powered by the latest technology, the Liberty Laptop ensures performance while respecting your personal boundaries. The Liberty Laptop. Your control. Your privacy. Your world. Visit calyxsolutions.io to experience true personal freedom today.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. Unfortunately, it's just me. Yep. Unfortunately, Patrick, we finally lost him. I think he's out hunting. I literally think he's lost. I think I'm going to send out like a, what do you call it, like a silver alert? I'm assuming he's driving his truck. So if you're heading down the highway and you see a very confused looking old man who resembles Patrick in a maroon Chevy, that's probably him, and please contact the authorities because he's just lost out in the wilderness. Okay, guys, welcome to the show. Number one, Red Bull. Number two, wait, I got to drink the Red Bull. Number two, coffee. And anyone curious why I am drinking out of a Cairo, Illinois, or as I pronounce it, Cairo, Illinois mug, look into the history of Cairo, Illinois, and the government buildings that are there. Let's just say, and I'll give you a little hint, Cairo was going to be the new Washington, D.C. That's a little hint of history. Okay, I got coffee, I got Red Bull, I have smokes, and I got a sheet ton to talk about. All right, today I'm going to go into a deep dive of what I am calling the new global digital confederacy, freedom networks. Let me preface this with something that came out yesterday or the day before from the ex-wife of one of the guys who created Google. All right, mind you, ex-wife. So she explains why Google was created and what the, as she calls it, the digital mafia wives knew. Let's run through this really quick because it gives you an idea of how we are avoiding a centralized global economy and centralized global information sources. Go right here, and hit play.
Many of the tech mafia wives realize is that they were used to set the groundwork for what was called like the reset, what is called generally as like the reset by the Klaus Schwabs.
Like the Great Reset.
The Great Reset. Yeah. They openly talk about this Great Reset.
Yeah.
So the tech wife mafias, I believe, were kind of being conscripted in many ways, and their money especially was being conscripted in to set the groundwork for the Great Reset.
Yeah. Specifically through
a network of NGO advisors.
Yep. And foundations.
Relationship with Hollywood. Relationship with Davos. And their own companies. So if you look at like who's on these boards, who hangs out with each other, how the culture of tech wealth works, like Silicon Valley tech wealth, and that small group of people responsible for a huge amount of money and a huge amount of NGO activity across the United States. It's a really small group of people, and it's a really small group of people making these decisions.
Yeah.
And then completely blind to everything else that's going on and how their groundwork is being used to then enable these other policies, these great reset policies.
Okay. I just wanted to play that to give you kind of a preface of what we are or were and are up against. This has been a plan. Mind you, all of these members that she's talking about, all of the digital mafia, these are all progressives. Every single one of them are progressives. And they were created. Remember, Google got created and implemented through DARPA. So did the Facebook. All right. Remember, the same software that Facebook used was software from DARPA that was called LifeLog. And the day that Facebook launched, LifeLog closed. The same day, not the day after, not the day before, LifeLog was brought off of the servers of DARPA and the CIA the same day they launched the Facebook. This is when they set up for what we're going through now, where they use social media and Google searches, and they eventually got Yahoo, and they implemented this web of information control. And did anyone ever wonder why Google and Facebook was free? It was like, wow, this is a really cool, I can hop on. That's where I originated from. That's where my show, once my youngest was like, hey, have you heard of this thing called Facebook Live? No. You can go live from your phone on Facebook. And I thought it was just fun. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. Because I think at that time I had maybe 90 friends on Facebook, if that. And I just thought it was cool that you could, go live, basically host a TV show on Facebook. And so that's what I did. And the rest is history. But the reason it was free, like they say, whenever it's free, you're the product. That's just how it is. Anytime someone gives you something free, you're the product. You're the mark. And that was why so much shit, all of these digital like X and Twitter, which is the same thing now, and you got Facebook, and you got all of these online platforms, and what do you call it, TikTok? It's all free. Now you can get a premium membership, but the basic is free because they know that they can capitalize on manipulating you in the algorithm, because the algorithm learns your algorithm. Your brain has an algorithm. It's the way you think. It's what you think of, how you think of it, how quickly you think, what is your quote unquote triggers, and then it adjusts your personal algorithm off of, and this shit's detailed, how slowly you scroll. If you pause for just a second, they know that something on your screen was a trigger. And it listens to your voice. It literally, and I'm not joking, it watches your eyes. Why do you think all of a sudden we have a camera on the front of our phone that faces us? Now they said, well, it's so you can live stream, you can do all that. You think that son of a bitch is off when you're on TikTok? No, it's on. If you're on Facebook, it's on. And they say, oh, we don't capture your face. Well, I would disagree with that. There's a lot of people I know who unlock their phone with their fucking face. I'm old school. God, that sounds bad. I'm digitally old school. I type in a password. That shows how over in window this shit is. Right? I think because I type in a password, I'm secure. Not these people that uses their faces. We are all actually, God, the Overton window has shifted. Hell, it's in a new house. That's how far the Overton window has fucking moved. It's not even in the same fucking house. Some of you may have seen this old friggin' clip. There's a clip from like 1981, and it's a lady in a Chevy truck responding to the new law that you cannot drink a beer while you're driving. And this woman's pissed. She's like, well, what the hell? What's a man to do? Get off work? He can't have a beer on the way home? What the hell? This ain't America. It's communism. I mean, they were pissed that they couldn't drink a beer on the way home. And they were bitching about it. Nowadays, you can't even smell a beer on the way home. You can't even have a vehicle that has the hint of the beer. I smell alcohol in your vehicle. Well, maybe that's your breath blowing back in your face, motherfucker. Because I'm just saying, when I was younger, a lot of the police officers on patrol, they were more drunk than I was when they pulled me over. Sons of bitches. And half of them were high and selling weed out of their trunk. But don't worry, the law is legit. We've all reached a point where we are manipulated and we know it. And it's like, well, I gotta watch TikTok. I gotta get on X. I gotta see what's going down, Charlie Brown. We have been programmed to crave information that probably doesn't have jack fuck to do with us. I mean, if I see one more thing on X of someone that was 500 pounds and then worked their way down to 180 pounds And I'm encouraged to like that and encourage that person. Look, I don't give a fuck if you've lost weight. Good for you. That's fucking great. I did the same thing, but I didn't hop on X and go, this is pre-Ben and this is post-Ben. Look how skinny I is. Everyone applaud me for not eating so much fucking food. Good job. And we have people who are at the gym. It's not a gym. It's a photo studio. You see more motherfuckers taped. Not that I go to the gym, by the way. You see more motherfuckers that are taking pictures and video of them working out. Well, good for fucking you. All right? Good job. I'm glad you're hitting the gym. But no one gives a flying fuck how well your form is when you're doing a bench press. And women, come on now. Don't act like you're wearing those clothes to the gym because they help you perform better at the gym. No. In fact, if you really want to get a good solid workout, wear sweat clothes to the gym. So while you're working out, you fucking sweat. Because that helps. I could totally rant on that shit, but I'm not going to because I have to deep dive into the new digital confederacy, global digital confederacy. Early America, let's say pre-Revolutionary War and a little after, up till about 1833-ish, there was a currency war. There was absolutely a currency war in America, but it was decentralized currency wars. So you had, and the first one, Ed, up in Massachusetts opened the first state bank ever in America. Now, of course, it crashed and fucking failed horribly, but it was the first. But there were thousands of banks. Let me put it this way. In the early 1800s, a little after the Spanish War of 1812, there were literally hundreds of fucking banks opening up every month. And this was everywhere. Massachusetts, New York, everyone was opening a bank. Well, let me explain what that was. That was early Coinbase. That was early Kraken in a digital sense. That was early Tether, right? Because each one of these actual banks were just a money exchange, and not just money, tobacco, cotton. They were basically an exchange of value place where, here's an example. Let's say that you had money from New York, but you were in Massachusetts, and you planned on actually being in Massachusetts for a while. You'd ask around for the highest credibility bank in the area you're in, because every single bank had a different exchange rate for their currency, because each bank had its own currency. Like I said, Massachusetts was the first to have a Massachusetts dollar. Now, like I said, they totally hyperinflated that shit into fucking nothing. Leave it to government. But that was their first rollout. And then you had the Bank of New York, you had Bank of New Jersey, and then you had what were basically private banks, which, guys, the post office used to be a fucking bank. Seriously. The post office was a bank. You could go in there and use it as a bank. Everything for many years was a bank. Everything had an exchange capability in-house. Now, does that sound kind of familiar with wallets? I mean, look at PayPal. What is PayPal except a digital exchange of digital items? That's what Coinbase is. Now, we are rolling out, and BlackRock is leading this in Texas. BlackRock's like, we're going to digitize everything. If you got a baby, we going to digitize that kid, and that kid's going to be a coin. Everything's going to be fucking digitized, all right? Lil Jimmy's going to have a digital coin attached to his ass. And that may be exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. We are going to have digital fucking everything. Everything of value is going to be cryptographically represented. So now, guys, those who have been in cryptos and in fucking Bitcoin for years, we have seen the rise and the fall of wallets and exchanges and fucking everything, because we're in the early days of this new global digital confederacy, right? And these, all of the old wallets, I hate to hit a sensitive topic, but atomic wallet, that all was just like it was in 1833-ish, right? And then, of course, who comes along? Our boy Andrew Jackson, but that's another story, right? So all of Coinbase, Exodus, Kraken, PayPal, Robinhood, all of these are just digital representations of the early banking system in America. Now, let me give you the equivalent of a Michael Saylor, right? Rockefeller owned banks. Well, how did he capitalize his banks? He capitalized his bank off of a commodity that we call fucking oil. What's Michael Saylor doing? He's capitalizing a new bank, that's what he's going to be, with a reserve of Bitcoin. So Michael Saylor is just a digital equivalent of Rockefeller. You have an asset that at that time when Rockefeller launched this shit, it was an appreciating asset, oil. And so he created a bank on the reserves of the oil. Now they just use ledgers. They're like, we can just use a ledger and we can show everyone the paper ledger and say, look at all the oil we got. No way to prove it. They could have just been throwing numbers. Yeah, we got 800,000 barrels over in Texas. We got this over, and they could fudge the whole fucking system. I mean, God forbid a Rockefeller lie, the hell you say. But they could fudge it all. Michael Saylor can't fudge it. BlackRock can't fudge it. Now, when they initially launch, it's going to take us time to hunt his little wallets down. But we can do it. I I I have a friend uh, who used to work at a company called Chainalysis. That dude, he can track anything, anything, in half hour. That's where we're going to. And the reason I say global digital confederacy is because, and I love to say this, but I kind of hate to say this, governments are actually becoming very obsolete. To tell you the truth, they've been obsolete since about, I don't know, 1932-ish. Because what really runs the government is the large corporations in the economy. The large corporations have set up the government as their, if shit gets bad, we can go to the government. We've seen it. They're too big to fail. I mean, remember cash for cars? That was too big to fail automotive companies. We'll give you a subsidized amount on this here vehicle if you trade in your 1986 Honda Civic that you can work on yourself, basically. And we gonna give you one of these new digitized automobiles that you don't even know how to use the fucking blinker. What a deal. This is how this all transitions, because we are all going to have digital identities. We already fucking have them, guys. But the key is decentralized digital identities. What's happening right now, and what she was talking about with Alex Jones, was the Great Reset. Well, the plan was have one great reset where everyone just kind of trickles into the new system and they don't know they're in the new system, but user experience and user interfaces will look similar, so they won't even know what the fuck's going on. They're just using the same app that just happened to get an upgrade that they didn't read any of the fucking, this is the upgrade. This is what it's for. Click here. And everyone upgrades, and that's what that's what the Great Reset is. It's just a great upgrade. That's all it is every platform we use on a regular basis, every bank app, every credit union app, every whatever AI or what, it's just an upgrade away from the Great Reset. And these corporations, I mean, let's really fucking be honest here. Who has more power, Washington, D.C. or Facebook? What is power? Influence. Do you think that like X or TikTok has more real world influence than Washington, D.C.? How many people other than me, raise your hand if you're watching, how many people literally watch a press conference? When was the last time you literally watched a live Pentagon briefing? I am. You know why? Because I'm a fucking nerd. Because that's what I love. But the average person, they don't have time to watch the Pentagon briefing on de-escalation of cybercrime. That sounds fucking enthralling. Let me grab some popcorn and a fucking Red Bull. Exactly. No one cares about press conferences because it ain't for us, it's for the press. A press conference is just the microphone to the rest of the media. That's all it is. That's all it is putting out the narrative that you want spread throughout the narrative machine that we call the media. Well, what they were planning, the Great Reset, all right, what they didn't plan for was the Great Reset split. And that's what we're in the middle of now. There is a digital split. Freedom-loving people and retards who love government. That's the separation. See, there's a group of people who I am a member, and you are probably also a member, is a leave me the fuck alone group. Then there's the left, which is the I don't want to leave you alone because I have shit to bitch about and I think you're responsible for that and you should pay for anything my whiny ass can come up with. That's the left. The problem is, not really, the solution is digitalization. See, you and I right now, we are in a state. Let me explain. You're watching my show, and everyone's watching. They're over in the chat. This is a state of the Bitcoin Ben Show. We have community members. We have people who just swing in and kind of visit. Hey, nice. Oh, it's a nice looking state you got here, Ben. Why, thank you very much. We work hard to keep up the highways. And they leave. But when you leave here, you go into another. You probably watch more than just my show. When you enter that show, you're entering a community. And a state with a small s is really just a group of people. Now, this is outside of legalism, right? This is communal. This is common law structure, all right? Everyone who's watching my show, who has been here before, you basically know my constitution. What is a constitution? It's your beliefs. This is what I constitute for my show. Freedom first. Everything else can fuck off. Even Bitcoin. All right? Don't get me wrong. It's a great tool. But if someone said, I'll give you 500,000 Bitcoin, but you have to do what I say for the rest of your life. Or you can be absolutely free and live in an environment of liberty. Give me the liberty all day long. Because I would rather be left to my own creative capabilities in a free society than a rich man in a slave society. And that's what we're moving to. All right, everyone watching right now, everyone who owns the Bitcoin, you are part of a state. You are part of a confederacy of cryptocurrencies. We have the Ether state. We have the Bitcoin maximalist state who think they're the only, fucking place in the world. Everyone else is just goofy. And whatever other digital Litecoin is its own state because it's just a community that is actually based on the constitution of Litecoin. What is the constitution of Bitcoin? It's code. Everyone looks at the code, uses the code, and agrees with the constitution of Bitcoin. Same thing with Litecoin. Same thing with Ether. Although they're never going to figure out that constitution. That motherfucker changes so often you don't even know what is or isn't Ether. And oh, hang on 1 second. Word from the sponsor. Oh, please like and subscribe and share.
Introducing the Liberty Laptop, your gateway to online anonymity. Engineered with your privacy in mind, the Liberty Laptop comes equipped with cutting-edge security features, ensuring that your data remains yours and yours alone. No more worries about your personal information being shared without consent. Say goodbye to prying eyes and third-party snoops. Enjoy your online freedom with advanced privacy settings, protecting your every digital move, all at your fingertips. With the Liberty Laptop, you control what others see and don't see. We customize your privacy settings and let only what matters most to you be shared. No more concerns about unwarranted surveillance. We put the power back in your hands. No unwanted access through the laptop's camera and microphone. Powered by the latest technology, the Liberty Laptop ensures performance while respecting your personal boundaries. The Liberty Laptop. Your control. Your privacy. Your world. Visit calyxsolutions.io to experience true personal freedom today.
And we're back. Heads up for Calyx. We will be rolling out a new Liberty laptop. It's a game changer because while every other laptop company out there is like, oh, we're going to integrate AI, we're going the other way. We're like, fuck AI. Fuck all this shit that spies on me and looks at me and tracks my shit. What happened to the old days of just a fucking computer with a floppy? Hell, I don't even care which floppy you think was really floppy. Was it the smaller one that was hard shelled, or was it literally the floppy? We're going the other. We want to retain a digital capability of freedom. So we are going to roll out this new Liberty laptop with a completely different operating system that is specifically for freedom. Because guys, every laptop that's being sold right now has an AI chip in it. There ain't no getting it and pulling it out bullshit. We are setting it up because the operating system is the network that the AI runs through. We're changing all of that because we have to preserve digital freedom. And you're going to hear more. Well, I mean, you guys are in Bitcoin. You've heard of digital freedom, you know, and we have to retain that. And mark my words, guys, mark my words. X will roll out a decentralized version of X. Why? Because it's the only way that you can record messages and eliminate canceling. You know, I mean, we've had software like that, right? What was it? It was Steam. Do you guys remember that? I mean, if you ain't been around that long, it was basically video decentralized, and I'm pretty sure you could also post on it. Very, very decentralized, and you couldn't erase it. Once it was there, that's it. You're done. And that's what the freedom branch of this new global digital confederacy is going to be. All right. And platforms Well, all right. No. Completely different team. This was STEEM, I think. Yeah, STEEM. Completely did. Let me tell you that I had friends who were influencers at that time. They made more money on that platform than YouTube would have ever fucking paid them. It was ridiculous. And that's also why you don't hear about it no more. Because YouTube wanted not, let's just say behind the scenes, YouTube went after Steam, dude. Big time. Big time. All right. Yeah, exactly. I remember BitChute. I still broadcast on fucking BitChute every day because it is decentralized blockchain video. I use platforms that are so small they get like 0 views, but I want to use their platform as an example of, hey, this is actually decentralized. Now over on BitChute, I actually think I get quite a few views over on BitChute, but I digress. This is the separation, and the medium that they're going to use for this transition to try and centralize all of us who are going the other way is AI. AI through your phone, AI through your laptop, AI through your computer. Because AI, what a lot of people don't realize about AI is implemented on your laptop and on your computer and on your phone through the operating systems. And there are ways you can shut it off, but it is fucking complicated. I mean, legit complicated. And we're at the point, everyone watching this show right now is going to actually be a member of several different communities. You already are. It's just I'm actually putting a name to it. And what's revolutionary is there's no borders. I mean, I have people who watch my show from Australia. Hell, I have people that watch. I probably get more views in China than I do here in America. It's because of how I am. They think I'm very entertaining American. They're like, this guy's like so American, it's stupid. But there's no requirement. Everyone who has kids knows they are part of a digital community who are playing games and stuff. They're part of a digital community. That community, most of them now have digital currencies. Now, that's going to evolve where every community has a currency. Now, the majority of the communities will just, and I've been saying this for years, a lot of the communities will actually implement Litecoin because of how it is and the language it's written in. It's Litecoin because the language is script, which is very light. There isn't it isn't informationally heavy. That's the only way I can really put it. Works great for video games because, especially since they implemented Mimblewimble and segregated witness and all that, shit moves fast. And it's, let's just say, the Litecoin network is just about as quick as the Lightning network. That's how quick the blockchain is. These are all going to evolve because, all right, Litecoin is a representation of value amongst the Litecoin community. The Bitcoin is a representation of value in the Bitcoin community. All of these are representations of value of a community. That's what a confederacy is. It's just a group of communities. Now, the difference is this, and I won't keep you guys much longer, but I want you to get this. The difference is, unlike the early setup here in America, you can digitally swap Litecoin for actual Bitcoin. You can digitally swap the Litecoin for some Divi, or Divi for Litecoin. Everything's a community, and that community sets the value of the token. But now, unlike the old days, when if you had New York dollars, but you lived in Massachusetts and you didn't want to actually pay or receive a lower value of your New York currency, you'd have to walk your happy ass to New York. Now you don't have to do that. You can swap your currencies. And there are wallets coming out. I know this because I'm going to be implementing one at Private Key Capital, where when you shop, the app will choose what coin you should shop with automatically because of its price, what you bought at and what price it is at that moment. So you can optimize your purchase with the gains and not your original price. As that rolls out, it's basically you, and this is how it's going to be, guys. Bingo. Michael Phelps, you nailed it. Wallet wars. Bingo. Wallet wars are going to be just like the banking wars during the Wildcat era of banking. If you don't know what the Wildcat area of actual banking was you'd have a headquarters of your bank, and you would put it way out west, way out in Wildcat area. But you'd have branches all over New York, all over, but each of the branches would only have a certain amount of redeemable silver or gold, where if you walked in, if the money changers walked in, they'd say, hey, we want to exchange this money for real gold. Well, at the branches, that had a limit. If you wanted to cash them all in at once, you had to travel to the headquarters of the bank out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And that's why they were called Wildcat banks, because then if you saw a day where there was a currency dropping and you had a bunch of it and you're like, oh shit, I got to trade this in for gold. Now, the currency was from the bank. It was just a bank receipt. That's it. This is when banks were issuing their own dollars, which had an exchange rate of silver and gold. Each of the currencies had a different exchange rate. So you, as a money changer, you would accumulate, right? They do that now, right? We actually call them currency swaps. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. You would swap. Now, remember, they couldn't really communicate long distances unless you was riding a horse. So the exchange rate, the real exchange rate, was always lagging. So if you're in Massachusetts, or let's say Florida, you're in Florida and you have, for some reason, some New York dollars. Well, your exchange rate in Florida is half of what the exchange rate up in New York was, because you had to factor in travel. A lot of places in Florida wouldn't accept New York dollars. And if they did, they devalued it so that they would give their New York dollars to a money changer, right? This is where Wells Fargo actually got started. They were an early money changer that would collect a bunch of currencies and then drive them to the local area where the currency was produced, and they would exchange that currency for silver or gold. And they would actually get a percentage of the exchange rate. That's where Wells Fargo originally got going. They were a money changer, and that's why everyone wanted to rob Wells Fargo fucking carriages, because you knew they were carrying money. And now that's all digital. If you wanted to, if you think if you think Litecoin is going to skyrocket, you can quickly exchange in Exodus, or there's a ton of them, your Ether for Litecoin. And of course, you pay an exchange rate, but you can swap right there. Just voila, I have Litecoin. Ooh. You ain't got to hop your ass from Florida up to fucking New York or hire Wells Fargo to take your New York currency that you got in Florida and travel it up to New York. You don't have to do that anymore. Now, let's move away from America. What if you have shares, right, decentralized shares of a company over in Australia, and you have decentralized wallets, or you have wallets like Exodus, and they hold that coin in the wallet, or you can, if it's an Ether coin, you can hold it in your Exodus. You just have to have the actual contract address. That's into the weeds a little bit, but you can swap, because that coin representing that company will have an exchange value set by the community for Litecoin or Bitcoin or whatever. And that That's technology of instant exchange without Wells Fargo. See, Exodus is just Wells Fargo without a license. Coinbase is just a quicker exchange. Now, Coinbase has its drawbacks. They shut down every time you actually want to buy or sell. But that is being improved on. Private key capital. We are separating from the old system. And when I say the old system, I also mean the government. Now, for those of you who heard Trump yesterday, hang on one second. I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to close out the show with this because I think it is so freaking important that people see, where's that? Where's that? Oh, you piece of garbage. Hang on a second here. Let me go over here. All right. I'm pretty sure I retweeted this yesterday. Let me check. My profile. Everyone, entertain yourself for a second, will you guys? All right, let me roll through this here real quick. Oh, here we go. Hang on a second. Let me open this up. Let's make it good and loud and hear the boss man here. This is him yesterday. Now, those of you who have watched my show for years, I have been saying this is where it's coming to. I have said for years, and I even said this in his last presidency, and everyone thought I was fucking crazy. Listen up, mother pluckers.
That at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay. That at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay.
All right. I heard that. You heard that. There's a reason. Trump recently announced they're closing more IRS locations because they're switching from internal revenue service to external revenue service. Guys and gals, shit is about to get better. Now, is it going to be an easy transition? Fuck no, it ain't. Because the old system is going to Trump, and Europe's already doing this, guys. Watch for it. You'll hear about it soon. A lot of European countries are getting ready to institute a draft, a military draft. Europe has to have a war. They are in such deep shit with their bonds and their treasuries and their economics, and especially Germany. They are filly fucked. They have to have a war. That's why Trump, we've all heard him brag. I solved 8 wars. 8 wars. Did you know I solved 8 wars? I'm the best motherfucker that ever motherfucked. Well, I don't know about you, but when he said 8 wars, I'm like, well, I know 2 of them. The fuck are the others? Those were the Middle Eastern and African that Europe used to divide all of the countries. These were led by their intelligence services, just like our CIA used to fucking launch wars all the time that we didn't even know about. I think it's called MI6. Is it MI6 or MI5? I think there's actually two of them, MI6 and MI5. MI5 is more like serious, like deep ops, like off the record shit. The reason that this happened, and the reason Europe is basically in deep shit, right, is they no longer have these proxy wars. They've lost the capability to have proxy wars. That's all they had, folks. For those of you who know the history of World War II and what really got that shit going, was Great Britain had control of a lot of proxies that were created after World War I. Did everyone know prior to World War I there was no such thing as Poland? Didn't exist. After World War I, they created Poland out of areas that were Germany, right? And Poland was a proxy of Great Britain. And that's what led to World War II. Because Hitler was reconstituting areas that were German, and after World War II they just made up this map of bullshit. All right, that's what they did. They made up a map of bullshit and said, all right, this part of Germany is actually now this. This part of Germany is now this. Because Germany was originally part of a republic. That's where we're at now. Is Europe is losing all of its proxies. See, Europe didn't really care what Hitler was really doing, accumulating and accumulating these areas after World War I. They didn't really care. Until Winston Churchill's like, hey, that motherfucker's going to go after Poland. And everyone thought he was crazy. He was like, no, Hitler knows that's our proxy. He ain't going to go after fucking Poland. What's he do? Fuck you, I'm going after Poland. This is what's going on right now. Those are the wars that Trump ended. They were proxy wars from Great Britain. And now they don't have those. So now they need another war. They need a World War III. Problem is, Trump ain't buying it. Russia ain't buying it. China wants nothing to fucking do with that idea. Africa is actually the largest growing economy in the world is in Africa and Northern Africa. Fucking look at Dubai, dude. I'm just saying. Everyone's worried about China. Motherfuckers, you better be worried about economic power from the Middle East. Because that's... The Middle East is, and I hate to say this, but it's true, if we don't change our shit, is the next America. In Dubai, there's no taxes. Why do you think Trump is announcing, hey guys, pretty soon no taxes? Yeah, don't worry about them taxes things. Because just like America, damn, how long have I been going? Oh, well. Just like Why did people leave Europe to come to America? Guess what? No fucking taxes and private property rights. Guess what Dubai has? No taxes and great fucking private property rights. They know. America knows. Trump knows. Our problem is losing our most valuable natural resource, or as the government calls it, human resource. That's why Trump knows he has to actually make America the most attractive option. Not second best. No, has to make it the most attractive option for humans. Because we're going into AI, guys, where labor and knowledge labor is going to be devalued. And I've said this for years. The key is population. If your country has a lot of people in it, then you will have an economy. China has a big economy, and they're closing that shit off. They are growing their internal economy because they know this great reset has happened, and China don't want fuck all to do with any of our great resets. That's why it has its own internet. It has its app. It watches everything they do. If you jaywalk, your social credit score gets a little knock in the ass. Because China knows what's coming. And their biggest fear is to be decentralized. They're communists. Centralization of power is kind of their fucking thing. But yet, China, that's why they got the wall. China's always been like that. They've always been isolationist. Which, to tell you the truth, probably not that bad of an idea if you look at it. Now, let's put it this way. China is culturally isolationist, but they're economically global. But they're culturally isolationist. And any Chinese people watching, sorry, but it's true, and you know it's fucking true. You ain't met a racist until you've met a Chinese person. Them mother pluckers are racist. But let me switch a word. Let me remove racism with culturalism. They are all about the Chinese culture. What shade of color you are, irrelevant. But the culture, Chinese culture, Confucianism, or if you want to go really deep, legalism. But I digress. Okay, shit. Damn, has it already been an hour and some change? My God. Well, let me wrap this up. America is leading let me rephrase that. Trump is trying to create two separate Americas. The left and the right. And they're going to use, like I've said, New York will have its own New York coin. Florida will have its own Florida coin. California will have its own California coin. And those coins will live in the economic reality of the constitution of the coin. If California's like, hey, we're basically going to be Ripple, we're just going to print up a bunch of coins. We'll hold the majority of them. And if they can inflate the digital currency, they will. They're leftists. That's like their gig. Now, Florida could issue a limited supply. They could basically if they were smart, they'd hard fork something like Litecoin Yeah. Limited supply, but fast as Philly fuck. And every community, every state will have its own coin. Missouri will have its, hopefully it's actually called Show Me Coin. That'd be great. I'm just a little biased. But Florida, you know, it might be the orange coin, just to kind of play off a Bitcoin. But this is where we're heading. The left is going absolutely batshit into centralization, and Trump, look, there's a reason you don't hear California really talking about secession too much. Because if they even mentioned on a national or global press conference, California might secede, Trump would roll out the red fucking carpet and go ahead. You go right ahead. Pay your own fucking bills. There you go. Trump would fall over himself for California to secede. Trump is not Lincoln. Right? Trump is not Lincoln. Trump is a realist. Trump realizes what I'm saying. And Trump knows, like, hey, this union we got going here, this is one dysfunctional fucking family. We got retards running California. We got absolute socialist fucking morons up in New York. And here's Florida and Texas and all of these production states who are just looking at New York and California going, oh, fuck, this is going to end bad. This is going to end fucking bad. Because we know what socialism leads to. And socialism it's contagious. So I say that the rest of us, we should get a vaccine, a knowledge vaccine against fucking New York. So that shit don't spread to the rest of us. Because you thought COVID was bad? Fuck that. You ain't seen shit until you've seen a socialist in charge of a large economy. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Okay, everyone, sorry for running long. I just had a lot to say today. Everyone have a great day. And please reach out to us at Calyx Solutions, all right? And put your name in the hat for when we roll out our new laptop, because when we announce it, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a shit show because there's nothing else out there, and you can't get nothing else like this anywhere. It is literally the last option of liberty digitally, because every other laptop company is just going to the centralization of the globalist system. Microsoft ain't your friend. All right. Check us out at calyxsolutions.com, or because you can actually, I got the wrong banner on here. Hang on one second. Don't worry, guys, I'm a professional. Or you can give us a call or send us a text, 702-845-8276. And maybe just send a little message. Hey, is there any way I can get on a list or something for this thing? Okay, everyone, have a great day. I love you guys, and I'll see you Friday, because tomorrow we got Jay. And Jay's much better looking than me. He wishes. All right, love you guys. See you on Friday. Bye-bye.
Introducing the Liberty Laptop, your gateway to online anonymity. Engineered with your privacy in mind, the Liberty Laptop comes equipped with cutting-edge security features, ensuring that your data remains yours and yours alone. No more worries about your personal information being shared without consent. Say goodbye to prying eyes and third-party snoops. Enjoy your online freedom with advanced privacy settings, protecting your every digital move, all at your fingertips. With the Liberty Laptop, you control what others see and don't see. We customize your privacy settings and let only what matters most to you be shared. No more concerns about unwarranted surveillance. We put the power back in your hands. No unwanted access through the laptop's camera and microphone. Powered by the latest technology, the Liberty Laptop ensures performance while respecting your personal boundaries. The Liberty Laptop. Your control. Your privacy. Your world. Visit calyxsolutions.io to experience true personal freedom today.